another bigger pothole. Now, I know it's been a difficult winter and that has an effect on the road conditions, but isn't there anything that can be done?
Yeah, there's actually roads in my neighborhood that I refuse to use now, and it seems just about every road is affected to the point where trying to avoid them is becoming an actual safety issue. Cars swerving, coming very close to causing accidents. We've heard that this winter weather has played havoc with our roads, so what's being done about it? And are we doomed to have potholes forever?
Joining us today, we have Teresa De Felice. She's the Director of Government and Community Relations with the CAA. And Teresa, the CAA also insures drivers, thousands of them in Canada. So I would think that this is a major issue that must be addressed, especially this winter. How many calls are you getting from your clients saying, look, you know, these roads are killing my car, and are there more claims this year?
We haven't seen a huge increase in claims, probably because a lot of times people tend to take care of it themselves. Pothole claims basically are reported under the collision area of your insurance policy. So it depends on how much the damage is and what your deductible is.
So there haven't been more than, but have you noticed yourself as a driver that there just seems to be a rash more, that you have to really watch out for potholes more than you did before?
Absolutely. We're seeing quite a bit of activity in terms of the crumbling roads. We launched an annual Worst Roads campaign, which is happening this March 25th, where we hear from people who are on the roads every day. Same thing, we're seeing people who are swerving to avoid a pothole, sort of seeing that activity. And you're right, it's having to sort of take unsafe behaviors to stop that damage from happening.
We're also joined today by Sandy Brown. He's the Technical Director at Ontario Hot Mix Producers Association. Before you get crazy with that thought, they represent the asphalt producers and suppliers. That's the hot mix. Sandy, why do we keep seeing the same potholes being refilled? Are they like Band-Aids where they don't really last forever?
The patches don't last forever, and usually the municipality will take steps to, or the MTO, to repave it when the pothole damage gets to a certain level. And so it is a Band-Aid treatment, but you have to do something for safety's sake.
So how long will the asphalt that we all see, the lumpy, bumpy, black stuff that's sitting in a hole, how long does that last on average?
Typically, asphalt pavements will last anywhere from 12 to 15 or 17 years if they're maintained properly. Potholes are more a maintenance issue and water getting into the pavement. And so if the jurisdiction, whoever it is, adequately maintains the pavement and designs it correctly to begin with, then it will last longer.
Sandy, can I ask you, is there research being done on how to better fill these potholes so that they don't crumble as easily, or they don't need to be maintained as often as they do?
There's not research being done on how to fill potholes, but there is research being done on how to get a better performing asphalt cement. The industry and the Ministry of Transportation have worked together for about the last 5 years, and we, in 2010, in a partnership, paved 33 contracts with different methods of testing asphalt cement to see if we get the right performance from it. And those trials this year will be going out for the first time to look at them and see them in the field. They've been down about 2 years now, and hopefully we'll have some answers how to make pavements last a little bit longer. But it comes down to proper construction at the beginning, following best practices, getting good density, and then adequately maintaining the pavement afterwards.
Teresa, every year I hear of people who damage their rims, and if you have a smart car or a Mini, that whole wheel can be gobbled up by a smaller hole. Do you think that the Public Works is doing enough to stay ahead of the situation to get to those holes and fill them quickly, or put the pylons around them? Because we all know of situations where the hole's been there for a long time, we just have learned to swerve.
Well, I think, we've had an extremely tough winter. And so a lot of that precipitation that Sandy's talking about, that water that's getting into the pavement, so we are seeing, as the snow melts, lots of damage in terms of the potholes and the crumbling pavement on the roads. And so part of it is helping either your municipality or the provincial government by reporting potholes. That helps them try to get sort of the patch-up trucks out there as soon as they possibly can, so that they can deal with some of those hazards, especially the big ones, because there are some pretty big ones out there that people are taking actions to avoid. And if you know about it, absolutely plan your route accordingly, plan what lane you're driving in, because there are a lot, and it's going to take them some time to patch up the roads.
So Teresa, are you saying you think that they're doing a good job and they're on top of this?
Well, I mean, like I said, it's been a tough winter. I think.
But has it really been a tough winter? I mean, honestly, we live in Ontario. We're used to snow. We're used to freezing rain. This is part of what we go through every year. Sure, some years it's easier, but really, I heard Toronto's only used half of its budget for snow removal this year.
Right. So, I think that part of it is getting to all of those potholes. City of Toronto has a 311 service. You can call into the 311, go on their website to report. The province has various ways that you can report potholes. They do regular patrolling as well. I think the general public will see more of a bit, be concerned in sort of giving that feedback that they do see a lot more potholes and they do want them filled quicker and faster as much as possible. So,
Sandy, in your estimation, do most roads that have potholes need to be completely resurfaced? And I know it must be a time-consuming job, but if you had your druthers and the budget was there, would you think that major sections of roads, these ones that are crumbling, need to be completely overhauled as opposed to just patched up?
I think it depends on the density of the potholes and the maintenance practices of the municipality. Typically, you don't start to want to repave the entire road until you get to about 30% of the surface area with distresses. And so, and I know that sounds like a lot.
That's got that. I know the street that's got that.
And I know a few as well. But the point is, when you get to them to do that work, and although we have the potholes now, it will be July or August if anybody puts that on the schedule before that can get paved. So you can't do anything about it right now.
Can you just answer one more thing? How much of the problem is caused by the salt? All the salt that's thrown on these roads?
The salt itself is not a problem, but the salt keeps water liquid longer.
Oh.
And so therefore the water has more chance to soak in. And then when it goes really cold, this has been a really cold winter with record-setting cold temperatures. And it's those cold temperatures freezing that water that causes the disruption to the pavement surface.
Okay. All right. Kind of wish we all lived in Arizona at times like this. Thanks so much, Teresa DeFelice and Sandy Brown, for joining us today. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.